What's up, peeps? What's up? Oh gosh, you know what? I'm just relaxing here today at the moment. I'm actually looking at the Chris Watts case. I'm very sure most of the world, but not necessarily, most of the world may be familiar with it. You know, the guy that killed his two children and his wife and basically killed her because he wanted to move on with his life and he was just bored of the old one. So I suppose he just said to himself, you know what, these motherfuckers have got to go. You know, not just move on and just divorce. No, divorce wasn't part of it. No, he thought that he would just, remove them, get rid of them, stop them from breathing. I tell you, these psychopaths or whatever you want to call them are just something else. It's interesting watching them. The reason why I watch some of these whatever you want to call them, mainly because they're just the opposite. I think they are the opposite to most people on this planet. Most people, they have love in their heart. They feel emotions for people. They have a sort of connection with people. Not everyone, but you know what I mean. Something. A lot of these people, if they saw you getting beat to death in front of them, they probably wouldn't even flinch. They just have no remorse. It's a weird thing to me because it's like it's the opposite of what I am. It's just weird. So watching them is just so interesting. The body language, So this is what I was looking at. I was looking at, his body language while um,
the Victims' Rights Act, including Cindy
he's in court.
that have not been called by the prosecution or the defense or any other.
I mean, look at him. He's acting like he's like a little mouse. The way his body's hunched down, like he's a little child. I mean, if you look at his face, it's just, ugh. It's just horrible compared to how he looked when he was outside the house. When they first went missing, obviously they went to interview him. The comparison, he would, but he just look at that. What goes on in this man's brain? His only concern is his sentence. No concern, no remorse for what he's just done to his family after he just tossed them away like garbage. And I think in his own mind, he really thought that he was going to literally get some soft sentence. Like he was going to get a little sentence. You must know you're going away. You've killed 3 people. You're going away for the rest of your life. And the only reason probably your life has been saved is because of Shanann's parents. It's the weirdest thing. It's mind-boggling. I mean, look at this poor father. His daughter, his grandchildren.
What I'd like to say to the court is that Shannon Bella,
He can't even hold himself. Do you know how that must feel for this man? How this must be for this man? Somebody just took away his daughter for no reason. The daughter, imagine this man, how it must feel. He brought up his child. Now she's a woman and she has her own family. And to know that he will never see her again in this life. Maybe in the next one, or when he returns to the spirit world himself. But he will never see her in this life because of that thing there that sits behind him. How hard it must not be to want to do something. And I don't mean doing something nice. You know what I mean. Look at him sitting there. Look at him. Look at this fool. Sitting there all crouched like a little child. Oh, feel sorry for me. Yeah, I feel sorry for me. I've just killed 3 people, you know, my family, but feel sorry for me. Let me just try and make my big old self look smaller. Look how big he is. I mean, this is a man that, you know, was big and he's pumped weight. So he's a strapping man, and he's trying to look like a little lost boy in between his 2 reps. This man's nuts.
Yes. I seen the videotape. You buried my daughter Shannon and Nico in a shallow grave. And then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil.
The thing is, I wonder why he done that. Why did he put Shanann into in a grave and then put the other 2 in crude oil? The only thing I can think the only reason why I think he done that was because he couldn't bother to dig anymore. That's how lazy this motherfucker was. He couldn't be bothered to dig anymore. He probably just thought, oh, fuck this. Let's squash them into this. I mean, can you imagine? It's just nothing. This man felt absolutely nothing for his peeps. Nothing.
In so many ways. I have heard people say that you're not a monster. No, you are not. You're an evil monster. Thank you. Love you, Shannon, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Pop and Dad. And one other thing. And Shannon says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
I would have jumped over that motherfucking table and took this motherfucker out. I would have jumped. Look at him. He don't feel nothing. Absolutely nothing. He ain't flinched. Nothing. The only thing he's thinking about is his sentence. He ain't budged. My gosh.
Of course. Sir, if I could just have you state your name for the record. Thank you for being here.
Your Honor, the past 3 months I barely slept because I've been going through a lot of different emotions because I did not see this coming.
Yeah, you didn't see it coming because this fool was play acting. It's true, he was doing way too much. He was doing way too much. All what he was doing to try and get her. I'm not saying there's not people who are actually, you know, they mean it. They're doing it because they really are wanting that person, interested in that person. That's just the way they are. They really want to, you know, do the best by this person. And maybe this is how he felt. He wanted her at that time. But most people, when they're done with somebody, don't literally try to kill them. You see, that's the difference between a normal person whose brain is functioning right and has a heart, has a soul. You know, people like that, you're now in my way. Children, now in my way. Wife or husband, you are in my way. I want something else. I want to play. I've lost this weight now. I'm fit now. The girls are watching me. I'm the bachelor man. Now I'm going to be a bachelor man, whatever means. And you 3, 4 had to go. Jeez. And he thought he was going to get away with it. That's how this motherfucker, how his brain works, or doesn't.
Why weren't they enough for you? In the blink of an eye, you took away my whole world.
It's not that they weren't enough. It was just done with them. That's it.
Loved your children. They trusted you. They loved you. They looked up to you because you promised to keep them safe. Instead, you turned on your family. My blood is boiling as I write these last words because they are the last you will ever hear from me. I can't even think of the right words to describe the betrayal and the hate I feel.
He don't give a shit.
And to be honest, you aren't even worth the time and effort it takes to put my pen to this paper.
Exactly.
There isn't a day that goes by that I don't cry for my family. They were my whole world. All I do is ask myself why. Why would you do this? You don't deserve to be called a man. What kind of person slaughters the people that love them the most? Did you really think you would get away with
A psychopath?
your best option, to throw away your family like they were garbage? They deserve better and you know it. I hope you spend the rest of your life staring at the ceiling every night, being haunted by what you've done. None of us deserved this. Hearing my mother and father cry themselves to sleep in this hotel room causes me anguish that is beyond words. I can't describe how this feels, how badly my heart is breaking for my poor parents. We trusted you. You have taken away my family from this earth, but you can never take them from my heart. You took away my privilege of being an uncle to the most precious little girls I've ever known. I will never hear the words Uncle Frankie again, but you will never be called Dad again either. You'll never be able to put your hands on another woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, and your son. I just can't comprehend how they weren't enough for you.
Oh, he's been calling himself a dad still, yeah. You kill your children, but yet you are still daddy. That's how you know these people are completely just... What kind of word could I find for that? They're not crazy because they know exactly what they're doing. So we know they're not crazy. They're just... And they're not even... I don't know. I don't even think they're delusional. Again, okay, that's the word, psychopath. It's just a psycho. Because only somebody with that kind of description would behave like this and do what he done. When you watch it and you think, bloody hell. And there he sits there like he's the child. Look at him like he's a naughty boy being told off. Absolutely just like beyond the beyond. Nothing. Feels absolutely nothing. Let's move it forward. Where are we at? There's mum, her mum now. Imagine that. Someone take out the child that you bared. Someone decided it's time for her to go.
Really. They really are. God bless. God makes no mistakes on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health, to death do us part.
The thing is, you choose who you bring in your life. You know, you are the one who makes that decision. You decide. At the time when she met him, she has lupus and she was very, very sick. And apparently she wasn't even interested really in letting anyone in her life. But these demons can find their way in, get you at your most vulnerable point. You're in a low vibration. They get you at a vulnerable point and are now able to maneuver their way into your life. He did everything. Everything. It must have felt good to have somebody be there for you, looking after you, just, romancing you. And then eventually you spend more and more time with that person. And then before you know it, because you're not really paying attention to the fact that this, oh my gosh, could this be, maybe she did think, oh, is this for real? But it went on and on and on, and it felt good, and it kept on being good. And obviously through their whole relationship, it was good until this last minute. So he played a part. And he probably meant it, but it was just done. But when I was watching something else, they were saying that it's the new kind of psycho. Because in most psychopaths' background, there is something to indicate that that's what they are. Whether they're killing animals or just doing something weird, burning something down, or I'm not saying everybody who burns something down, I suppose people that are burning buildings down is either something mentally wrong with you or you're a psycho. So there's some indication. But in some of these new breeds, there's nothing. It's just one day they just do something weird, and it could be at any time, it looks like. But the normal psychopath usually starts in childhood.
Our daughter Shannon loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannon's family was her world. Shannon put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella Marie sang a song proudly. I don't know if you got to see it, but it was, Daddy, you're my hero.
He don't give a fuck. He don't care. He don't care. He doesn't. I mean, we try to muster it, like, because we feel. These bitches don't feel shit. They don't feel what you feel. So all this talking, he doesn't feel it. He needs to hear it, but it doesn't have an effect. All this man is thinking and caring about, he will be sitting there thinking, just get on with my sentence. Come on, let me hear it. That's all. That's all. This is just passing over his head. He doesn't. It's just something he has to go. He has to tolerate and go through because he ain't got no choice right now to sit in that court at all.
Shannon's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing.
Your Honor, that's all the witnesses that I
He
can
don't
on call.
feel
I know that's full address during the
nothing.
procedural,
He ain't flinched.
posture. I am aware that
Nothing.
Mr. and Mrs. Watts would also like to address the court. I would certainly invite the court, if you want, at this point, to call upon them, or we can certainly do it after any evidence that the defense has.
This should never have happened. This is
Now,
not condonable.
For those who don't know, this is his parents.
Is something that we will never get over. We appreciate the consideration that everyone has paid, most especially the families that have lost everyone. We appreciate that they begged for Christopher's life. We agree and echo what they have said, that it is not his place to take anyone's life, nor would it be our place as a community to take his life. So we thank you for the opportunity and for every
He needs to be removed from society. About, you know what? Everybody has their opinion on it, but to me, you're just wasting taxpayers' money keeping these people going. But then again, maybe they need to suffer. They need to sit and they need to suffer. They need to suffer, and just sit in that jail cell. I think death is too easy. Not to say when they go down that path, who knows where that spirit will end up. But, you know, it's just insane. Imagine your child. I mean, these are supposed to just normal people, but imagine your child. I mean, how can you, how you must feel. You have this love for your child, you know, this is your child, and then you have your grandchildren that you love. I mean, in this case, she didn't like the other woman, which was really bad for her to say what she said, as if she deserved to die. But the way she said, oh, well, it wasn't going well because of Shanann. The relationship only was shitty to the end until he decided to have an affair. That's when things went downhill. Other than that, they seem to be getting on pretty well. But it's just, this is your son. This is what your son has done. What kind of emotional roller coaster? What, your emotions must be so entangled, so there's words I'm trying to find. Find the words. Just so mixed. It's like, what do you do? You've killed my grandchildren, your children, you're my son. God, it's like, what the hell? I couldn't, I just, I can't even say what I could or what I couldn't do. I don't think I could look at you. But look what these people end up doing. If we move further on, look what these motherfuckers end up doing.
This crime and acknowledging the devastating loss that both the Rusek family as well as our family have faced. Our families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. This is something we will never get over. We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that we are united in our grief. I am still struggling to understand how and why this tragedy occurred. I may never be able to understand and accept it, but I pray for peace and healing for all of us. Now to my son Christopher, I have known you since the day you were born into this world.
And you know what? You should have threw him back. Knowing what we know now, you should have shoved him right back up. Jeez.
Watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child who Bella reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You were a good friend, brother, father, and son.
And now you are stone cold killer. That's what you are, bitch. Stone cold killer of your own.
We have loved you from the beginning.
And look, he's barely flinching. Look at him. Barely moving. Not even moving. He's not moved at all. And that's Mummy.
We still love you now. This might be hard for some to understand, how I can sit here under these circumstances and tell you, although we are heartbroken, although we can't imagine what could have led us to this day, but we love you. Maybe you can't believe it either. As the Lord said in Jeremiah 3.
He's moving just slightly a little bit more for the mum. Just a little incy bit more. But not much at all.
31. I have loved you with an everlasting love.
You know what? Can we stop? The love thing should have gone out the window. I would have been more saying, I don't know where you came from. I don't know where I got you from. I don't know how you came through me, because nothing that come through me should have done anything like this. No, I love you, Christopher, I love you. I need you to go and find yourself under a rock somewhere and just die. Go over there and die. That's what I need you to do right now. Because you aren't no son of mine. You are some demonic demon. That's it. And that's me being nice.
For I have continued my faithfulness to you. And you, as your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why. But we will remain faithful as your family, just as God remains faithful because of his unconditional love for us all. We love you, and we forgive you, son.
Look, these people are not even in their grave. Have they been buried at this point? They must have been buried. They're not even barely cold. Talking about forgive and love your son and all that. And you could say, well, I don't have the right to judge. Oh, yes, I do. I can judge what the hell I want. The fact of the matter is everybody judges. As soon as somebody walks in a room, you make an instant judgment about them based on the way they look and the way they're behaving. We need to stop this crap. Everybody judges. Everybody makes a judgment call. You judge yourself, you judge others. We need to stop this bullshit about, oh, you can't judge. I can say what the hell that I want to say. For those who have an issue with it. Because I know there's some dummies out there, the freaks, that want to back this person. There's always those weirdos who want to go and send pen pals and go and visit these weirdos. They're not even weirdos, because weird just means different. I'm weird. So they always want to visit these, I don't even know what you want to call these psychopaths. I bet if these psychopaths were to, and some of them actually want to marry these psychos, I bet any money if these psychopaths were going to get released, you see how quickly these people would run and hide. You think they would want these same people living with them if they were to get released from prison so they can kill your ass? These people are hilarious. So yeah, you got those people who always want to act like, oh, you shouldn't say that. I say what the hell I want to say. But the fact of the matter is he's done something. Like, there's plenty of people that agree. For those who can see it how the way I see it, which is he's done something so horrific, there are barely words. I'm finding it hard to gather my words because I don't get it. I can see how it works biologically. Your brain ain't functioning right. But I still just don't, to do this, to do what he done, smother his children, strangle his wife, and apparently she wasn't even moving. She was so downtrodden by this time with all the emotional upheaval that what he was doing to her beforehand, being with this other woman, you know, they were messaging together, they were talking, and the arguments. It took such a toll, as you saw her at the end, that by the time he was strangling the life out of her, if this is how it went, according to what's being reported, she didn't even move. And he still continued to strangle this woman because it was time for her to go.
Thank you.
Judge, if I could read Mr. Watts' statement.
Yes.
My name is Ronnie Watts, and I am the grandfather of Bella, Celeste, Nico Watts, and I am the father of Shannon. I am the father of Christopher Watts and son.
Are there any other statutory victims under the Victims' Rights Act that would like to make a statement today?
Your Honor, I am not aware of it.
For the record, nobody is.
I fully expect we will not receive the answers to these questions today, nor will we at any point in the future. The details of the crime, as so far you've only had an opportunity to review the affidavit and a few facts here and there that have been offered to the court in the motions and pleadings that have been filed. The questions that have screamed out to anyone who will listen since August 13th of 2018 are why and how? Why did this have to happen? How could a seemingly normal husband and father...
It had to happen because he needed to have the life that he wanted to. He needed to be the bachelor. That's it. It's as simple as that. He wanted a new life. He didn't want to have to pay child support. He didn't want to have the baggage. He wanted a clean start. And, you know, he wanted a clean slate. And it was time. So, guess they needed to go. 3 children. Two alive, one on its way, and wife needed to go. I need to get with this new hussy. Get with this new one. By any means necessary.
Father annihilate his entire family. For what? These are the questions that only one individual in this courtroom or on this planet.
Yeah. Needed to annihilate them so he could dig down the new bit of skirt. That's it. He wanted to dick it down. Day in, day out, without no interference from anyone saying anything. He didn't want Shannon on the phone talking about you must come home and making him, you know, bringing all the emotions and, you know, and I want some money. He didn't want none of that. It was clean slate. You three gotta die. That was it.
Even worse, what must Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3, must have experienced or thought is their father, the one man on this planet who was supposed to nurture and protect them, was snuffing out their lives.
Right. While he was doing it, but again, we expect this fool to feel something. He felt nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing when he was doing it. For the children, I don't know. If they really understood it, they knew it was something bad, especially the big one, probably. I'm not sure about the other one, but knew it was something bad. Knew it was something bad going on. That's why she fought and bit her own tongue, trying to get away from this beast.
Direct victims does not end there. Think of the firefighters and the Colorado State Patrol hazmat experts who had to don protective suits and who were called upon to pull Bella and Celeste out of those oil tanks. Or the coroner employees who had to conduct these autopsies.
Exactly. Can you imagine that? Look at this man. This man is crying because these people had to pull these bodies out of oil tank, and the acidity from the oil was peeling off their skin because they've been obviously lying in the oil for days. So they were skinless. And you see the family is having to hear such vile. I can't even imagine what this man. Look at this poor man's face. He is horrified. This is horrific. This must have the hole in their hearts, what they must feel. The pain, the thought of it, the fact that they've heard what happened, everything. The fact that this man was in their family, like obviously he's participating in it. He's part of the family. In their mind, they must feel tricked. Look at his face, absolutely horrified and just devastated. I think that's the closest word I can use, is devastation to what this beast has done. Took his baby girl away. He had 2 children from what I'm aware of, and somebody came and took your baby away, and your next 2 babies, because the grandchildren.
Or the victim assistants who frantically attempted to ease the suffering of those affected. All of this, Your Honor, for what? Why? Why did this have to happen? His motive was simple, Your Honor. He had a desire for a fresh start. To begin a relationship with a new love that overpowered all decency and feelings for his wife, his daughters, and unborn son. While Shanann texted the defendant over and over again in the days and weeks leading up to her death, attempting to save her marriage, the defendant secreted pictures of his girlfriend into his phone and texted her at all hours of the night. While Shanann sent the defendant self-help and relationship counseling books, one of which, ironically enough, was thrown in the garbage.
You see, this is what I'm saying. His only interest was this stranger, this new bitter skirt upon the wife and children. That's all he thought about. Probably in his mind, he was thinking about, shit, which way can I dig it out? Which way can I bend it over next time I see it? While his wife, his pregnant wife, was there suffering, he was thinking about jumping on it. That's it. Freak.
He was searching the internet for secluded vacation spots to take his new love in researching jewelry. And While Shanann took the girls to visit family in North Carolina, the defendant went to car museums in the sand dunes with his new girlfriend.
Ooh.
The stark
Lucky
contrast
him.
between the subjects of their internet and text content is absolutely stunning. Even the morning after he killed them and disposed of their bodies, he made several phone calls. One was to the school where the girls were supposed to start, telling the school that the girls would not be coming to school anymore, that they were being unenrolled.
Can you imagine how that school teacher must be thinking now? Whoever spoke to this fool, can you imagine what they must be thinking now? Wow. I spoke to the person that killed that poor child. Ugh, gosh.
Presumably to give him some more time before law enforcement notification about them going missing.
Let's get down to the sentencing. That's the best bit.
I want to acknowledge the Rusick family as well as the Watts family that would be appropriate, and anything less than the maximum sentence would depreciate the seriousness of this offense. So the court is going to sentence Mr. Watts as follows. With regard to count number 1, murder in the first degree as it relates to Shanann Watts, the court is going to sentence you, sir, to a life sentence in the Colorado Department of Corrections, followed with no possibility of parole. And that is going to run consecutively to all but counts 3 and 4. With regard to count 2, as it relates to murder in the first degree with Bella, the court is going to sentence you to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections with no possibility of parole.
Look at the face. Look at the face. Can you see it squinting? Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his eyebrows. Look at that shit.
Celeste to life.
Look at that.
Colorado
See his
Department
face?
of Corrections.
See the emotions?
No possibility
Now it
of
gets
parole.
emotional. Look at that.
With regard to counts 4 and 5,
His body's beginning to shake.
Bella and Celeste as a different theory of first-degree murder, the court is going to sentence you to.
See this bitch? This is where he's got his emotion now. You see? He's look at that. You see that? You see what I'm saying?
Department of Corrections
That's the
with no
only thing he
possibility
cares about.
of parole.
Nothing else. Look at that.
With regard to
Look at him.
counts 4 and 5 relating to Bella and Celeste as a different
Oh my
theory
God.
of
See what I'm saying? That's the only thing he cares about. This is the emotion now because of his sentencing. Nothing else. Nothing, hardly anything when his mum was speaking, and absolutely nothing at all when the other parents were speaking. Nothing. As soon as sentencing comes around now, look at the freak.
first-degree murder, the court is going to sentence you to life in the Colorado
Leg
Department of
shaking.
Corrections, and
Whew,
legally
the emotions must be
sentences
running
must
hard, so they
be
can actually get
confirmed as a
emotional,
different theory
but
of
only with
first-degree
things
murder.
they give a shit about.
Recognizing
This freak thought he
the
was going to
unlawful
what? I don't know.
termination
Maybe he
of
thought he was going to walk
pregnancy
free.
for the unborn child that has been named Nico, the court absolutely believes that the maximum.
Look at that. He looks like he's about to
48 years would
explode.
be appropriate to run consecutive to the other charges,
Jeez.
with an additional mandatory parole period of 3 years as set forth by statute. With regard
He
to
should
count number
he should have been
7,
expecting it.
to tampering with a deceased body, as well as counts 8 and 9, each a class 3 felony, the court is going to impose a maximum sentence of 12 years each for those counts to run consecutively to the other counts.
Damn. That
The
is
court is
just...
going to order that statutory fees be paid and court costs. The court's going to grant the prosecution 91 days
Oh, look at them.
to file a notice of restitution.
It barely even lifts the pain.
And that will be the sentence of the court.
Barely lifts the
We
pain.
will shortly be in recess. I would respectfully
But
ask
it's
the
something.
parties that you remain in your seat. There is a plan by the deputies on allowing people to
Go on, do your
exit the
sentence,
courtroom, so
man.
please remain seated until you are authorized to leave the courtroom based on the direction of the deputies. Deputies, I would respectfully ask that you take this defendant into custody and have him serve the rest of his life in the Department of Corrections.
Go on.
We are in recess.
Go and pay for what you did. 2 little children, wife. Go on, take your ass. Go on. My gosh. Oh gosh. Whew, that was the walk of shame. Gosh almighty. It's just... what goes through somebody's head when they're doing this thing, man? I mean... something else. It's such a sad thing, and it's, you know, I've watched loads of different cases because of my interest in criminology and things like that, and the psychological aspect of it. This one was a big one because of, I know there's other cases of people taking their children out and killing, you know, we know, but this one just, it was just something about this one that just had that little something else. I don't know. It was just boy, sometimes I can't find words. Many people will say that's not normal, but there was just something about this case. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it was horrific. It is horrific. And the fact that I will obviously update some stuff, and I'm aware that this man is actually trying to get out on some kind of technicality. That's how you know this man really feels absolutely nothing. He literally wants to be released. And from the point, and there's somebody speaking to him. I did see a brief thing where some person, I don't know who he's speaking to on the phone, but is briefing him on how the case went and how he like he didn't know this what was going on, and how he took a lie detector test and poor you and la 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 la, as if he was shifted by the police. They're trying to make out as if he, you know, didn't know what was going on when he was being questioned. This grown-ass man. Like he didn't know what was going on. So, oh, that means he must get out on a technicality. Yeah, people want to see you walk in the street. You must get out after what you did. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, he would literally leave jail. if some judge just turned nuts and become crazy and let this fucker out, he would literally come out of jail and not feel no way about actually, you know, living out his sentence. Nope. Absolutely not. Whew. But anyway, I'll update some stuff. There's some more things going on. Ugh. And yeah, the beat goes on. So we know this is not gonna be, I mean, this is old. This is like, what, over 2 years old now, what I'm watching. Yeah, I'm just talking about it now, but it's over 2 years old, obviously, when this case happened in 2018. We are now in 2021. But there are things going on. Family visiting, obviously been visiting him, and so on and so forth. But yes, guys, that is the end of this video. I just wanted to, you know, give my little 2 pence, maybe 3 pence, on what I saw and what I'm seeing in this stupid shit, if you want to call it that, anyway. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining me on this video, and join me in my next ones. Cheerio, and have a good night or day. Bye for now.